What makes Elder Scrolls Online different from other MMOs? No doubt you guys have heard of Elder Scrolls Online at some point. Maybe you gave it a try back in the day, and you're probably sitting there wondering, why is this game still so popular even to this day? And if you haven't tried it, maybe you're sitting there thinking, what makes this game special? Why do people play this instead of playing World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, Guild Wars, or another MMO? So in this video, let's go over the several points that differentiate ESO as an MMO and what makes the game just so good. Before we dive into the video though, we have to thank this channel's sponsor, Zygor. Zygor is World of Warcraft's ultimate add-on and also the sponsor for this channel, so I wanted to give them a quick shout out real fast. If you're looking for awesome leveling guides, achievement farming guides, mount collecting, gold making, you name it guys, check out Zygor today, link down below in the description. And after trying out Zygor's free version, if you decide to upgrade to full, be sure to use Nixxiom for 20% off. Thanks guys. Number 1, rich lore. If you've ever played an Elder Scrolls game, whether it's Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, it doesn't matter. You know that the Elder Scrolls universe has a massive amount of lore going on for it. Each race, each location, each deity, each hero has these extensive backstories behind them, and Elder Scrolls Online is no different. This game has a massive amount of rich and extensive lore that's been built up over the course of the game's lifetime. And of course, this lore draws from the previous Elder Scrolls games, taking inspiration, but it also has introduced a ton of new stories, characters, and locations to the Elder Scrolls universe. One of the main reasons why people play this game so much is because it is so story-driven, because of the lore of Elder Scrolls Online. And if you've never given gaming lore a chance, Elder Scrolls is a great place to start, whether it's this game or the single-player games. Number 2, level scaling. This is something that's either you love it or you hate it when it comes to MMORPGs, but Elder Scrolls Online uses a level scaling system instead of a traditional MMO where you level up a character, you ultimately out-level zones, and you sort of end up at the end of things in a select couple of zones that are the max level areas. Elder Scrolls Online doesn't do this. Instead, they have a level scaling system that allows their players to explore any part of the game world regardless of their level, and it keeps every corner of the game relevant. This means that you can always find a challenge regardless of where you are in the game. And if you're a completionist or an explorer or whatever, this game is definitely right up your alley because it keeps things interesting with its scaling technology. Not everybody is a fan of horizontal progression, but ESO does it very, very well. And in regards to the world, number 3, a massive world to explore. If you've ever played a previous Elder Scrolls title, you know that this is the kind of game that goes out of its way to be big and detailed, and Elder Scrolls Online is no different. The game world of ESO is massive, and players are free to explore it at their own pace. There are no level requirements for the zones either because of the scaling, so players can explore wherever they want. If you're somebody that you want to quest and level up in Morrowind because, hey, that was your favorite game in the Elder Scrolls series, go over there and explore it. Or go to some of these regions where Bethesda hasn't made a single-player version of the Elder Scrolls at yet. Really, it's completely up to you wherever you go. Across these zones, you'll find everything from dragons attacking some areas, Oblivion gates opening in others. There's tons of stuff to find in each zone. Each zone has its own unique personality. It's a world worth exploring. Number 4, player choice. Elder Scrolls is not a game where you just choose a class, level up the class, and you're stuck in that particular play style. Really, when it comes to ESO, you can play this game however you want. In Elder Scrolls Online, if you want to be an Argonian thief who wears heavy armor, who runs around healing people while also poisoning them with your daggers, you can do that. You want to be a necromancer who uses a bow and poisoned arrows? You can do that too. You really can create whatever character you want in Elder Scrolls Online, which can lead to a little bit of a learning curve, but as you go through the game and as you gather points from leveling up or discovering sky shards, you can spend them however you want in your skill trees that you unlock as you play the game. It makes the replayability of this game really good. And it also is cool because you'll probably get to max before even exploring a fourth of all the zones in this game. So going and checking out new zones and trying out new builds and new styles of playing your character is awesome. Number 5, player housing. Player housing is a thing in Elder Scrolls Online, and it is very expansive and it is very immersive. In this game, you can buy tiny houses, you can buy massive homes, and you can fill them with whatever your creativity desires. I've been in player homes that are completely vampire themed, homes that are all like hunting with animal heads and stuff everywhere, to even homes that are pretty much like entire castles that players have made within the giant landmass that you can purchase to customize your home on. It's pretty wild how in-depth the player housing system is within ESO, and I feel like I only scratched the surface of it despite my hundreds of hours in this game. Number 6. No subscription required. Unlike a lot of other MMOs, ESO does not require a monthly subscription, and the game is in no way pay to win. When it comes to this game, if you play it, you can play it as much as you want or as little as you want without having to worry about any sort of recurring fee. The only thing really that you get from subscribing monthly to Elder Scrolls Online is you get points to spend in the cosmetic shop. You get an infinitely deep crafting bag, which some people would say, it's a little unfair, but it's just a crafting bag. If you don't care about crafting, it's not a big deal. And you also get access to all the content and all the expansions up to whatever the current expansion is, whatever that might be. My first 100 hours in this game or so, I played completely for free with no subscription, and I loved the game so much that I did ultimately subscribe to it, but it's 100% not necessary to progress in this game and to have a good time. Number 7, the world PvP. If you ever played Elder Scrolls Oblivion, you might remember Cyrodiil. You know, that big landmass with the city in the center? Well, in Elder Scrolls Online, the 3 factions in this game are all fighting for control of that city. The massive scale world versus world combat in ESO, the moment that you try it, you're gonna get hooked to it. Catapults and battering rams and all manner of fire and magic and fortresses, and oh my goodness, it is wild. All of this fortress besieging and stealing and whatever to claim the capital city right in the center of Cyrodiil, and to claim an emperor, that's right, an emperor for your faction. Imagine a classic World of Warcraft High Warlord or Grand Marshal, but on steroids. Because the Emperor gets their own unique skill tree and abilities that they can use to dominate on the PvP battlefield. It's great. The world PvP in this game is so much fun. Number 8, a fully interactable, living, breathing world. Something that I think a lot of RPG or immersive MMO gamer enthusiasts will enjoy about ESO is how interactable the world is and how immersive it can be. You see, in Elder Scrolls Online, if you're walking along and you see, let's say, a sword on the ground, you can pick it up. You see a potato, you can pick it. NPCs will lock the doors of their homes, and you can break in. You can murder NPCs in this game. You can get a bounty put on your head where guards will kill you on sight unless you pay the fine. And if you are particular classes like a necromancer, for example, and you were to use a necromancer ability in the middle of town, people will freak out and try to attack you because you're a freaking necromancer. You're raising the dead in the middle of the town square. What are you doing? So many people love this about ESO, just how interactable the world is and how you can really play out whatever sort of fantasy that you want. Whether you're a warrior that's going around and killing dragons to being some cutthroat rogue who breaks into people's homes and steals gold out of their treasure boxes. Whoever you want to be, you can be that person. Number 9, exploration is rewarded tremendously. Because Elder Scrolls Online is not a linear MMO, you can just kind of go wherever you want. And this is one of my favorite ways to play Elder Scrolls Online, just abandoning the quest that's right in front of you and just wandering out into the world to see what you find. As you explore, yeah, you'll find more quests to take part in. You will find world bosses scattered throughout the world that you can fight. You can find delves, which are like these single player dungeons that you can go into, fight the boss at the end, and get an awesome piece of gear, possibly even a set piece of gear. Yeah, there's a ton of sets in Elder Scrolls Online that can all do unique things, like making your abilities poisonous, or you can summon like a Daedra, like whenever you attack. There's lots of stuff in this game in regards to sets. You can find sky shards out in the world, which you can collect to get more skill points. You can meet different guilds and factions. There's a lot in Elder Scrolls Online in terms of exploration. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. And number 10, constant updates. Maybe a lot of you watching this right now play World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, some really large MMO today. And when you hear the term Elder Scrolls Online, you just think, oh, it's a dead game, it probably gets no content, nobody really plays it, whatever. You would be surprised to discover, though, that first of all, a lot of people play this game. No matter where you go in the world, you're going to be running into players. And in regards to the company behind the scenes making the content for this game, they are constantly pumping out updates. Whether it's new story chapters, dungeons, delves, zones, expansions, new ways to play the game like getting a follower, introducing dragons and elsewhere, whatever you want. These guys are just constantly pumping out new content into this world, and so there's always something to look forward to. Even right now in June, the newest Elder Scrolls Online expansion is coming out, Necrom, with a brand new class. Because the game has this constant, steady stream of content, it does not get boring. And even when it does and you decide, I'm gonna take a break for a couple of months, when you come back, there's always plenty more to do and plenty more to explore. So, I hope that this video has answered the question, what makes ESO different from other MMOs? And if you're curious about the game's endgame, you can click the video linked on your screen right now where I talk about what exactly you do at endgame in Elder Scrolls Online. This video is more for, if you just now started playing the game, what would you immediately notice as you played through for your first couple of hours? Thanks for watching, guys.